a lot of people are asking about arm wrestling stuff, and I'll fully admit I've absolutely no idea of the sport. So if I just get something completely wrong, or you just
No
yell,
worries.
you just yell at me. Harry Greb asks, ask Scott please about pinning Cleave Dean and becoming world arm wrestling champion. So what year is this we're talking?
That was 86. And Cleave Dean, Hawk is and me would he was my best buddy going to these tournaments. And he would go every place he possibly could with me. So Cleave Dean in 1980, we went to the Nationals in Detroit. And I never seen Cleave Dean before. I heard about this monster and he was there. So anyways, never pulled him before. And I got up, I had him like in the fourth round. And a lockup was just enormous. His hand was massive. I mean, dude, 600 pounds. And he smoked me, just buried me. But he laughed at me.
Hmm.
And it pissed me off. It pissed Hawk off. He's right there. And Hawk says, "You're going through the back door. You're coming back, getting them in the finals." And I did. I got back to the back door, back to the finals. And he did it again. Well, that lit a fire under my ass like you wouldn't believe. I told Hawk that day, I says, no matter what I do, I'm beating this son of a gun. And we went to work. And for 3 years straight, I pulled him next time. It was about a 30-second match, real competitive. Barely, I just couldn't get his hand. Then another 2 years after that happened, it was about a minute and a half match. And I mean, honestly, had him to my side at one point, but he's just massive. So, anyways, I wrestled him in the world titles in '84 in Minneapolis. And I'm not kidding you. Nobody had the legit time, but it was well over 2 minutes. But he flattened my hand out. His hand was so massive. And I had to learn how to beat that hand. So, anyways, I get contacted about Over the Top. And they tell me about how enormous this is, what's going to happen with it. And I says, that's it. I'm concentrating on this tournament, Cleave Dean, and I'm going to go to work. And I did. I didn't party. I didn't go out with my buddies. I arm wrestled and lifted for 2 years. And I mean, I got so strong. It was just, I mean, I could take 150-pound dumbbells and do hammer curls for 12. Just, it was getting like it. I used to train in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, and all my buddies that came in the gym at 4 o'clock at night in the afternoon after work, I'd come back and there was a grip machine. And they're all working out. I already had all my work done for as far as my upper body, whatever. And I had that thing loaded up 5, 6, 8, 10 plates on there. And I just sit there and talk with them and do grip. And I mean, my forearms and hands are just insane, strong. So, anyways, when the Over the Top came out, I had to do a qualifier in New York. But they separated me and Cleve. They put him in LA. I had to go to New York, which was smart. And I went in there and didn't pull tournament for 2 years. And when I went in there, it was just like a slaughter. I mean, I was already had a shotgun start, like like a Drakester coming out of the hole. And I mean, nobody even, no resistance. Got to Vegas, big deal. First round, I had a pretty good match with, I mean, nobody lasted more than a second in the whole tournament. I had 28 matches and had Cleave in the fourth round. And we hooked up, brother. And I mean, I felt he knew it. He looked at me and he was already, he knew it. I mean, because when they ready, go, brother, it was on. And I mean, I just buried him.
Hmm.
And it was the best feeling. It was all that work. But I mean, he came back through the back door and we wrestled in the finals again. And I did the same thing to him. And throughout the years, he never ever gave me the just respect. Because after that, I was touring with the movie. We're in Japan, New Japan Pro Wrestling contacts me and they offer me a deal. They want me to train with Brad Reagans. He was part of the office, blah, blah, blah. I had no intentions of stepping away from arm wrestling, but it was time to grow up and start doing some real work. You know what I mean?
Was it lucrative at any point, the arm wrestling, even after Over the Top had put the sport on the map?
That was my best year, but no, not enough. I mean, I had to do other things, work a regular job in construction, and I was a bodyguard a little bit, stuff like that.
Hmm.
But no, I guess these guys are doing pretty well now, the top guys, but they're doing super matches and stuff. They're not doing tournaments like we used to do. So it's just a little different.
Now, sort of my interviewing career of the last few years has sort of built up to this point because it's the one question I've wanted to know more than anything else. And Chris Jericho wrote in his first book, said he talked to you, obviously professional arm wrestler, and he wanted to know. Do you know what I'm going to ask?
Yeah. Oh, I got it. Yeah,
I might as well ask it anyway. But he said there was one trick to beating someone at arm wrestling, and he never put it in the book. He said if anyone sees him in the street, he'll tell him. But since you're here first, I thought I'd ask you, what is the one trick to beating people at arm wrestling? For a complete novice like me, especially.
Sure. What I taught Chris, okay, it's right when I first started getting into business. Chris is young, and I don't even think he was wrestling yet. He was setting the rings up. And he knew I was an arm wrestling champion, big, and he kept bothering me to arm wrestle. I mean, he kept bugging me. So finally I says, all right. I just buried him. Boom. I think it hurt his shoulder. So anyways, I taught him how to do a top roll. I says, no matter who you arm wrestle, if he's not an arm wrestler, you do this to him, you got 50% chance better you're going to win this match. And he says, show me. And all it is, when you lock it straight up, instead of just coming flat hand or turning in and hooking, it's a top roll, just like the movie. And you get out on their hands and they lose all the leverage in there and you're beating their wrists. Nobody realizes that your wrist and hand are so important in the arm wrestling. The big bicep forearm helps also. And so I taught him how to top roll, and he learned how to do it. And he probably as good as he does a top roll as well as he does anything in the ring. And Chris is one determined son of a gun. And he told me, he said, I beat some big guys with. I said, okay, and he can't. He really bought into it. But if he was with another arm wrestler, they put a little bit back pressure on him, that top roll, is not going to work. But in a bar situation, put it this way, he lock up with a guy like Stevie Ray. Stevie Ray's massive. He could slow Stevie down or get his hand and make it awfully competitive and maybe beat him. So I just taught him the top roll.
There you go. Right.
I'll tell you, people ask me that question all over.
Do you know, I've always wanted to know it because I don't think Jericho's ever actually admitted it in public or sort of given the game away.
Yeah,
so top roll.
The secret. So it's a top roll, yeah.
There you go.